Hey, welcome to the Doc Analyzes Anything, the show where science and psychology meet. We analyze any behavior, any human behavior, I should say, including the Behaviormatic 5000 came up with a good one today. That person who slowly repeats every last two words you say.
Every
Have you ever had
last
this
two
happen to
words
you?
you say.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Like
I
that.
think it's like people trying to demonstrate active listening.
It can
Or
be very, I've had this happen, and it's very, very distracting. It's like you're talking into somebody's Zoom room and they're echoing back to you and you can hear yourself and then you start slowing down.
yeah, I this has very rarely happened. I can see it if it's like something profound that you really need to think about. You're repeating it to yourself, like, all right, what is this? But if you're just doing it, like, is it to buy time? Is it to get people to not talk to you? Like, I don't know what the point is here, but it
Yeah,
would be distracting.
it's a lot.
Distracting you. But I think it is like I'm trying to show that like I'm listening to what you're saying. I hear you. I am actively participating in the listener experience. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you by repeating what you're saying.
So are you a last word repeater?
I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
know,
okay.
am I?
No, I think we'd have some issues at home if you were. Uh,
Well, as I like totally badmouth and like, oh, but it's cool if you are.
uh,
um, well, that's
all,
the Behaviormatic 5000.
all right. Uh, Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Steven Sparks, your host, and with me today is my always co-host Kyle from the Deadliest Catch Story here. Most of it is
Yeah,
the jean shirt
uh,
and the winter hat. Just it has a look like you've been out pulling some crab pods up or something there. Facial
did
hair helps too.
Yeah, I did. I did pull some lobster pods up over the summer, but I wouldn't have
No,
had this on. So
no. And we're doing something a little different today. Special guest. We thought, just for a fun change of pace, we would do an episode we were going to call Battle of the Sexes. And we were going to have a couple of our behavior analytic admin team members here. My wife, Taylor, is with us today. And unfortunately, Cora couldn't make it due to illness at home. And so I have a feeling this is really turning into Let's Attack Steve Day today. So we will do our best to not just have it be attack me and have a little behavioral science going on, but also because Taylor is also a behavior scientist, we will try to make sure we're really keeping it in lay terms because we could get out of hand here if we really wanted to. So
love the idea of Attack Steve Day, but I mean
it's
we can.
it's because I usually make it attack Kyle Day, so we might as well change it up a little bit.
Taylor, it's
Kyle's,
good to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Kyle said he feels like it's like the marriage counselor here, just trying to like I'm not taking sides.
I'm here to listen and not judge.
Yeah.
I also feel like the elephant in the room is my wife's gift to me for my 40th birthday, which I believe will correspond with the release of this episode. Is me as a Simpson. I got my own T-shirt, so there I
So
am.
did she give you this shirt in order for you to wear it and then appear on your 40th birthday, or did you just get your presents early?
See, it's a long, like, not very entertaining story, but no, my birthday's the day after Christmas, and no one's ever around to celebrate
Mm.
because they're doing things. So we had my birthday party last month, um, and I got it for that. And everyone wore little Kyle Simpson pins.
I feel
That's
like you
fun.
feel a little.
Yeah.
You seem just a little sad talking about your birthday being the day after Christmas. There, just a little.
So Cora, who can't make it, also shares a birthday with me. So we have this in common. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did, but I doubt anybody else
Yeah,
listening did, except for maybe
it's
her
true.
husband if he decides to listen. So,
Right, right. And I am generations older than her too, so it's not quite the same thing, but
so we'll get onto this and what the topic is in a minute. But be a little careful what you're saying there, because I'm literally like 3, 4 months younger than you, and Taylor's just a little bit older than Cora, so you're making this get a little awkward here. A
hey, I'm
little
not
awkward.
here to judge. I'm here to listen.
I don't know. That lady at Steve's doctor's office does.
Yeah, every time she goes to take my blood, because it made more sense for tax purposes to have us all under one medical insurance plan. I am listed under Taylor, and she needs her birth date whenever she takes my blood, and then she always just gives me this look like, "Robbed and Cradle, huh?" Like, listen, it's only 6.5 years. It's not that big of a deal, but she has to give me a hard time every time. So this
It's
year,
yeah.
it was early November, and I asked her if she ever went as a vampire for Halloween,
Why
just
do you
to
ask that? Oh,
because
just to
she's the one
change
that
the
always comes in
subject?
to take the blood.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's the phlebotomist, and so I'm like, hey, and she didn't laugh as much as I had hoped. She still has one up on me here, is what I'm saying. So, uh, yes, the idea of this was how many random things out there. You always hear, "Oh, women are like this, men are like this." We are gonna get 2 women, 2 men on here, hash it out, kind of be silly about it, but also analyze some of this stuff behavior analytically. And so hopefully this is lighthearted. It's not truly the battle of the sexes, but we always make things seem worse than they are just to garner attention, get people to tune in, that sort of thing. So,
We got you. We got you hooked.
we can start maybe with the first example that I kind of brought this up as. It's an issue at our home quite frequently, and I've seen it talked about other places. And it's just the idea that men can never find what's right in front of them in the refrigerator. I I'll let you all talk first, and then I'll tell you my take on it. But it is definitely something that occurs quite a bit at our house.
Is this Taylor? I'm interested as a unbiased third party here. I'm interested in your take on this.
Well, I will say, like, it happens in our refrigerator. It happens in cabinets, both like upper and lower cabinets. So I'm usually the one that can't find things in the upper cabinets, or I need to get my step stool out. And I feel like this is like a little bit cheating because I already know Steve's take on this.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
also
will,
fun because it gives me the opportunity to hide the step stool and then watch her try to get things up
but
high.
I will say, like, this was an issue growing up at home too. Like, my mom would razz my dad about not being able to find things in the refrigerator, and they're like right there. So
Truthfully, this might be
Interesting.
why I think this is a common discussion, is because it might just be your family and our family. I'm not sure, so we'll see.
Yeah, so this
um,
is not a common discussion in my household, but it is not uncommon for either of us not to be able to locate anything in the refrigerator. But it does have a lot to do with now 4 children who just throw indiscriminately whatever happens to be being used in the refrigerator at some place that they didn't get it from. They also don't put caps on things. So I pulled out a bottle of half and half the other day and it dumped all over me because there was no cap on it. No cap, as the kids say.
I'll have to say, even with small children, right now their main thing is going into the freezer and getting out the mini ice cubes to chew on,
Mhm.
and then the 2-year-old does not always shut the door after himself. Um, but
Oh, do they all
there,
get stuck together?
no, it's just I'm like running in there trying to hope that all the food hasn't melted more than anything. They do get stuck together a little bit, but um, there have been more than a few times where probably I also, but I'm gonna blame Taylor for leaving something out with the cap just like loosely like tightened, and then pick it up and I just splash myself with it. But I think she does it on purpose. So, um,
It's She makes it look like it's a little heavier than what it actually is, so when you pick
yeah,
it up
yeah.
with too much force.
She like colors in the side of the gallon of milk so it looks fuller than it is. Uh, so my thought is, from just observing ourselves over the years, is I'm almost a foot taller than Taylor, and so with the things that she can always call me out on, like, it's right there in front of you, I can't see from my vantage point. Like, I'm looking
Mm,
down in the fridge. I see my eyes are level with like the very top of the fridge. I can see what's on top of it sitting up there. And so at almost 6'4" and her being around 5'4", it is very much we are seeing the world from a different angle. Like, nothing
true.
is more annoying than I have to get down on my hands and knees or my stomach to get a pan out of the bottom cupboard. But
I would
nothing's more
love
entertaining than the fact
yeah.
that I put, like, my old house before we moved in together, I had like the pots and pans up on top of the just so they had a place to be because it was a smaller house, and she couldn't even cook anything there, and that was very entertaining.
Oh, because it was too high.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would love in the pick on Steve mantra. I'd love to see you on your tummy looking for pots and
I
pans on
make
the
sure to scoot
floor.
around a little bit just to make a show of it, just to really be like, look how you're treating me. Look at this mistreatment in my own home.
I say most of the time you probably just ask me to come in and get it for
That's
you.
that too, but still.
Taylor, do you have a take on why Steve can't find things in the refrigerator, or does his explanation check out?
I feel like it probably checks out. I also feel like sometimes we just put things in different places.
Mm-hmm.
Or Steve is not always privy to the place that maybe I have designated an item to go. So I'm putting the item in the same place every time, but does Steve know that? Probably not.
Yeah, and
Mm.
to be fair, I am not the neat one. And so if I leave something out and I know exactly where I've left it out and then it gets put away, but it's not a place I would have thought to put it away, that can cause issues as well. But sometimes it's very much like ketchup. It's not even like the look of the bottle is going to change or anything like that. It's very clear what I'm looking for, and I'm just not seeing it. And so it is usually that I am looking for something, but every once in a while I get one back and be like, aha, you couldn't see it right in front of you either, sort of thing.
Man, no, yeah, like I said, we don't experience this phenomenon. If anything, yes, I do put like dishes back. I'm good about like doing the dishes and things like that, but I put them back in places that they don't belong. So my wife gets on me about that, and I should pay more attention to where they're stored because I don't really care. I'm like, I don't remember where I put it, but then, yeah, when there's like pots and pans that are clear across the room where they're not normally, then we run into some friction with that sometimes.
Taylor had to do a lot of shaping in our relationship because I was very much the put everything in the sink and then I'll deal with it tonight. No, I'm too tired. I'll deal with it in the morning. And she's like, no,
Oh,
no,
are you
no.
like gonna let it
And then,
soak?
Not anymore.
yes, I
Yeah.
Not
was.
anymore, though. Dishes are done before we go to bed household at this point.
But sometimes it'll be like after dinner snack, kids are in bed, and like I just go through the house at the end of the night and make sure there's nothing left out, nothing sitting, everything's getting put in the dishwasher. And so sometimes I'll still get that look like you left your plate out. Like that was the late night, like not late night, but like 8:30, 9 p.m. snack plate. That one doesn't count. You can't
Yeah,
hold
I mean,
this
then
against
that's
me.
fine. Or if it's like a situation where, like, okay, the dishwasher is full. If we try to put anything more in it,
Well, I'll get
nothing
it in
will get
there.
clean. No.
I will get it in there.
yeah.
Okay.
There
No.
comes a point where it's counterproductive.
Right. Like if I can't open the drawers in the dishwasher because they are so jammed full of things, just leave it. Just leave it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I would rather have like one extra plate the next day to wash than fight with the dishwasher.
I should have called it out also that Dr. Bradley Meow Meow that often joins us here is Taylor's brother. And so he comes over frequently for dinner and likes to put things in really strange places in the dishwasher and things that you
But he
like.
can't complain because he does do the dishes almost every single time he comes and has dinner with
he
us.
seems
So
like a neat fella.
Yeah, but
he does his best.
he does some interesting things like big bowls. We had sushi bowls, so like nothing was actually raw, but we cooked tuna steaks, put on rice with like a spicy mayo and veggies and stuff like that. And bigger bowls because you need the rice base and then pile the stuff around it. And he just shoved them on the top rack last night. So when I went in there to try to like pull out the silverware part on top, I couldn't even get it open. And I'm like, I mean, he did the dishes. I can't fault him for that. But
There, I helped.
yeah. Now usually he does
Usually-
quite well with it, but
We did have to have the conversation of like, hey, like the giant like pan that we cooked dinner in, just hand wash that.
It
Don't
doesn't
put that in the
fit.
dishwasher.
That is the thing. Yeah, I shove those big pans in, and that's where, yeah, my wife's like,
are they
because there's like,
nonstick?
yeah,
You're gonna ruin the coating, man. You can't mess up your nonstick
uh,
coating.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Isn't nonstick bad for you, anyways?
I mean, probably to an extent. It depends on how much you're scraping off and how much is getting in your food. Are you doing the cooking at home?
So that's a good question. I do help when I can. I have historically not been incredibly interested in cooking, but I have taken up grilling
Okay, so here we
mostly
go.
Is this another part?
This was a
I
segue here that I was, yeah.
So I'll give my take on it. A few, I guess last year, I said I do not know how to if I'm given like a raw steak and a grill, I don't know what to do at all. And so I took some significant time over Christmas break last year learning how to like smoke and grill, and now I do a lot of grilling.
So if you need to, this is just an aside, and again, I always give this this aside here that I do not know whether or not this person is actually a good person. They could be a horrible person that I'm putting their stuff out there.
Steve's
But
very careful about who he recommends and advocates for,
well, I
but
mean, this information that I'm about to give you, I think is very helpful for learning how to cook and grill specifically. But
okay.
again, what if they come out tomorrow and say that they like Nazis or something? And I'm like, oh shoot, look what I just
Can
said.
never be too
Can't
careful.
be too, but there's a book, and then there was also, I think it was on Netflix, a 4 part series called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. And like
Yeah,
those are your four main components of flavor. And so
right.
on the grill, it's all about trying to get that char base because that adds flavor to it with some salt, of course. Or if
Okay.
something doesn't taste quite right, try a little bit of lime juice or lemon juice as some acid because that can bring out different flavors and that sort of thing. So just because you said you wouldn't know what to do with steak on the heat other than just put the steak on the heat, that's what I was getting at.
I do now, and
Okay.
I do make a really good grilled salmon. I enjoy smoking ribs and wings I've got down. But again, yeah, there is kind of this like we can analyze this. I felt like I should know how to grill, like as
Yeah.
the dad in the family. Like, why do I not know how to grill? And that was kind of the MO behind it. And analyze away. I don't know.
So
I
I
because
mean
I don't go and like bake a lasagna. I don't know how to do that, and I
I
don't feel a
can
need to.
I can, but we will fight over lasagna because we have completely different ideas about
Yeah,
what
you like
lasagna.
weird lasagna, don't you?
He
I do
wants
not
like a
like.
wet lasagna.
I just don't like
Wet
it dry
lasagna.
feeling. Like I don't want it to be a pure ricotta, which dries out the middle. I do prefer a cottage cheese lasagna, but I can handle a mix. But a pure ricotta, it gets way too dry. Now, that being said, like you do need to cook the sauce thick enough so it doesn't just fall apart as you cut it out of the pan. But
I'd never heard of a cottage cheese lasagna until I met you.
that's how my grandmother always made it. There's very much a ricotta, but her mom is on my side, but the rest of the family likes ricotta, and so like her
I'm
and I
thinking this.
just
Well, okay,
her
my
and
dad
I
cares.
yeah,
The rest of
well,
my siblings probably don't care,
I
but
they probably don't know to care. They probably haven't had the other way, and so we it's like not a common thing to have with the family, but I'm always making underhand comments with her mom about like, oh yeah, this dry ass lasagna every time just because they like it that way. Um,
So, do you cook then at home, Steve?
yeah, so when we first met, I did almost all the cooking. Taylor had not had much experience with cooking. I, at a young age, for some reason, liked watching cooking shows with my grandparents. And my grandfather, I remember one time was like going to turn it off to turn on an Inspector Gadget or something for me. And I'm like, I might need to know how to do this someday. So, like, no, let's keep it on. Um, I really thought that when I moved away to college, it would really help me out in like the meeting girls arena. And it surprisingly did not help as much. But once I met Taylor, it was helpful. So there's that.
well, my job also. We met when I was in school, so I was busy, and you just had more free time, kind of, than I did. And then once we both were working, I was just working later, so it just made sense for you to cook.
I was
Yes, you
starting
were a better cook than me.
I was working on my dissertation and starting a company when we met, yet I had plenty of time to cook. No, I'm
You
just
had more flexibility in your
I
time.
was done with classes at that point, so that was helpful.
There you go. There you go.
Um, but no, Taylor's become very good at it. But I guess this isn't necessarily just about us as much as it is about the cliche. You know, what I mean, like
I'd say the cliche is that men grill and women cook. I mean, that's like the gender role.
right.
Like, yeah, that's all I have.
I thought I was gonna sneeze, so that's why I was pausing there for a moment. I was gonna mute myself, but thanks for calling it out there, Kyle.
Well, I was it was bad timing.
So we had mentioned, like, talked about when we were looking at some of the other things that can kind of go around with the same analysis too, like hobbies, like hunting and fishing, for the most part, aren't very necessary, at least in American society, but those do tend to be at least thought of as male dominated activities, probably going back to hundreds of years ago when there was a lot greater need for that sort of thing. And
Right.
women, at least in European Western civilization societies, have always been thought like the homemaker, take care of the kids, um, stay in the kitchen, that sort of thing. And I do think the last 125 years or so, it's been a lot, it has a lot to do with this idea of who are we selling products to and the commercialization of, like, all right, we're going to gear this stuff to the wives, this stuff to the husbands, that sort of thing.
Mm,
But I believe it was a book we read in our behavior analytic book club that we talking about how um back during the early civilization, hunter gatherers, tribal nations, more than anything, where the women would go out at least close to, if not as much as men, doing the hunting, the gathering. It wasn't just they stay at home, cook, and take care of the children. And that was more because it was a communal type raising of the children. All right.
mm. Yeah, that's
These
fair.
are the women that are available to breastfeed at this given time. So then the others can go out and do things. And then when we became more of an agricultural type society, now you have a smaller, like small knit family, unless you had enough money to have a wet nurse or something like that. And so the nursing mothers had to stay home and provide the food for the babies, and therefore cook the meals and do some of these other things, while the men tried to, at least, I'm thinking feudal England, when you were either a have or a have not, and they're out scrounging around just trying to find anything to eat or any odd jobs to do or farming or that
Mm,
sort of thing. And so I think in society, we tend to think of it in terms of, oh, the men are big, strong, they need to be out working in the field or killing the animals or dragging them home, that sort of thing. But it really, at least according to this one book we read, had more to do with the nursing and the fact that men can't do that. And that's why women started spending more time in the home comparatively.
I think, yeah, speaking to the commercialization of it though, and just like that evolving into like a societal expectation, like as opposed to a necessity. Because I mean, even yeah, you think like in the '60s of like the home ec class and like separating, you know, boys and girls to one learn one thing and the boys go learn automotive repair or whatever, whatever it
Yeah.
was then. And
Mhm.
so I think as a society though, a little bit we're going back around to like more inclusion on either end. Are we? Or maybe not very good.
That's
Well,
it's a very open ended question there.
I
We're
think in
good, right?
theory,
Maybe not.
yes. Like, I mean, I see it a lot. I'm in the market for kids' toys because I have 2 kids, and I have been seeing a lot more. I feels like of a shift away for things like being marketed to like specific genders. Like, obviously, like I feel like, okay, like the Hot Wheels commercials do still tend to be like geared towards boys. But the
Hmm.
other day I saw like a company that was marketing like baby dolls and strollers, but like they were specifically talking about like this is not just for girls. This is like for boys too. Like you
Oh, yeah.
probably assume that your little boy is going to grow up and be a parent. So this is an appropriate toy for him too, which I liked
Oh,
the idea.
nice.
One of our kids does really like babies and dolls, so
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes throwing them around, but that's
well,
beside the point. Um, I think there's also, the workplace is trying to be more inclusive as well. Like, all right, there's time and a place maybe to like a pumping room, or if
Mhm.
there's a childcare on site, like time to go breastfeed and as you need to, that sort of thing. But it's still not probably where society should be in actually allowing these things to happen.
Yeah.
But there's also the business side and how much cost, like, we have not been able to figure out providing childcare, and not because we don't want to, but the fact that we're spread out all over the state, like where would we even place it? Where
Mm.
would it be? There's no centralized location, that sort of
We
thing.
as a company, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we do physically take care of our own children. So that's
Right,
not
right.
what.
I always wanted to clarify.
um,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
will
Oh,
say,
God.
like, personally for cooking, I enjoy, like, Taylor likes to have a recipe, go get the things she wants. She has a meal planned. I like going to like the fancy grocery store and just seeing what's in front of me and what can I build out of it. It's kind of like,
Uh,
and probably why the same reason I don't like baking as much is you have to be very specific about following a recipe. Whereas I want to throw stuff together and be like, all right, I got to tweak this way, add this flavor here will really tie it together. Um,
mm.
and then, like you said, the smoking and grilling, I enjoy just trying to get that right because that's a little bit more of a science as well.
See, I don't try to venture too far out of what I get good at. Like if I find a recipe that works, and it took me a couple times to kind of like get the smoking part down, but once I got one, I used the same seasoning, like same like timer on my phone, like same method, same temperature and everything like that, and I just like it and that works. And so I'm not gonna get adventurous, but I don't know.
Do you think like the idea that smoking, grilling, like those are more masculine things, where like cooking, baking, kind of in the home are more womanly things? Do you think that has anything to do with like one happens in the home and one happens outside?
Oh, interesting.
It could be. I'm trying to think back to like when this probably really became popularized, and I'm thinking they were marketing towards the weekend warrior, like
Hmm.
all right, dad's home on the weekend, he's still wearing his suit and tie out here on the grill while like the neighborhood families are coming over, that sort of thing. How are we going to sell this? And so now we're getting a whole new
Hmm.
group that will buy this. And so it is like the male grill master versus now we're selling food materials and things to a whole nother group of people besides just the
Yeah.
homemakers, is where I'm kind of thinking it probably came from. But I don't know for sure where that idea came from.
I mean, from like an economic gain standpoint, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like in theory, you could use a lot of the same things, like your same kitchen tools out on the grill, but you have a whole special set for your grill and your smoker that just stay with that.
Well, you never see like a grill commercial. It's always got like this like Americana country song playing in the background, like flames shooting up. Like it looks like an action movie almost. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's yeah, the marketing is still very geared that way. The one thing about the outdoors is one does give off like poisonous fumes if not properly ventilated. So that could be
Yeah,
one reason why it's outdoors. But yeah, there is like a aspect of it uh like you're about to embark on like a explosive adventure once you buy this thing. I don't know.
especially with the smokers. Like I'm lazy enough, and it is true laziness because I don't want to have to get up early and start, the smoker going, then maintain the fire for 13 hours. And so I
Mm.
have one of the automated ones that uses the pellets and just keeps it at the right temperature for me
Cheater,
automatically. Absolutely a cheater,
cheater.
and I am fine with that.
I,
Um,
I I feed mine manually.
but with with these, even the smoke, too much smoke, I mean, it would choke out the house. But it's interesting because it'll also, as it gets started, produce so much that it'll cause like a flashpoint or a backdraft type flashover effect where it gets so hot and there's the right composition of burnable air fuel to flame that it'll actually explode and send the top open.
Yeah,
And so
I've
I'd on
seen
the
that.
lowest setting, middle of the night, like Taylor's brother and I are like playing video games, making jerky at like 1 a.m. And all of a sudden there's this huge boom. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Whole neighborhood just probably shook from my grill exploding out there. But
I do have a story of I went over to a friend's house one time and he wasn't home yet, but his wife was there and she's like, "Hey, Andrew wanted to grill. I warmed up the grill for you if you want to get started." And I didn't know a lot about grilling back then. This was 10 years ago, but I did know that the notion of warming up the grill uh, on a gas grill, I was very confused about what that meant because it wasn't on. So I was like warming up the grill and I hit the I just hit the starter, and it jumped probably 5 feet in the air, just like completely exploded. So she had warmed up the grill by just turning the gas on and just leaving the lid closed for a good hour. Could have died. I lost some eyebrows that day.
I have done that, like where it went out and I go to restart it and it explodes like that. But
Yeah, yeah.
you
It
you definitely
hopped.
want you definitely want a hot surface as you put the meat down or whatever else you're putting there. So
Right, right. It just
you
was
but
not
you need it
clearly
on
not
for that.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. I will say too, my wife is Greek. Cooking in the Greek community, the very, very proud of the Greek recipes. My sons are learning how to cook Greek recipes, and it's actually really cool. Because like it just we were fast food kids growing up. Like I didn't cook or bake or anything, and like we might have had meatloaf and stuff like that, but it was mostly I grew up on McDonald's, and so it's cool to like see my 13-year-old in there shaking things up in the oven. It's pretty fun.
I will say Greek food might be my favorite food as a culture. I don't know, this something about the Moussaka Pasitio, like going down to Greektown in Detroit. I absolutely
Yeah, yeah,
love it. And so what I'm
yeah.
really saying is I'm shocked and appalled that we haven't been sent any frozen meals. Like
You want some
I can fake like near death experiences and like horrible illnesses if it's gonna get me some Greek food.
can ship you some baklava.
Yes,
That's good, but I'm not a sweets person as much as I am the savory meal, so the kids would love it
Some
though.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It was a kind of oh, I was just say on that note, it's something too that we do with our kids, trying to get them interested in cooking and in the kitchen, and that has been fun.
Yeah, I have a video of Taylor and our 2-year-old making pizza, and they're
Yeah.
spreading out the dough, and he just keeps putting his hands in the flour so it doesn't stick, then wiping it on himself and then messing with the dough, like, just repeatedly, "Just wipe this off."
My daughter wanted to make scrambled eggs this morning, and she went to the kitchen island and cracked the egg on the island, and then turned back around and walked across the kitchen. It's just dripping out on the floor, and put the whole thing in the pan. I was like, "Hey, close. Let's not get it all over the floor this time."
That tracks. Our kids
Yeah,
like to you give them, like, the egg to crack, and, like, we model it, but they just take it and they're just like,
it's hard. I'm not great at cracking eggs, man.
The key is she was right, flat surface is much better for cracking eggs than,
I'm a
G
pan side guy.
I know, everybody thinks so, but no, it's much
"That's
cleaner.
risky business. You're gonna get a shell in
Mm,
there."
Yeah, much cleaner
mm.
to have it on a flat surface, but you probably don't do it across the kitchen. That's probably not the way to go about it.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I was gonna make a joke that you said whiskey business, 'cause I was thinking of whisk and baking, but then whiskey is also a word, and so it's a
Yeah,
little uh not funny.
that then we'll let it go.
Whiskey business would be a good band name though.
It's gotta be one. It's gotta be out there. Like, there's no way
Somebody's
that's
thought of it.
yeah,
Somebody's thought of it.
it's gotta be like a blues, like a ZZ Top cover band or something like that.
I'm looking it up.
All right.
We'll we'll, we'll promote them.
Uh, Another horrible misused stereotype I can't believe exists out in the world is the man flu. It's just ridiculous, this idea that
What is the man flu?
it's just that us men are wimps, and when we get sick, we get much more sick than women do.
I don't even know if we
Oh,
get more sick.
Well, we act more sick. We play it up as we need to be cared for much more. Uh
my wife
that
did get me a shirt, or she sent me a shirt. She didn't buy it for me. It said tummy ache survivor. It had a
yeah,
man holding his tummy.
Taylor was gonna get a shirt for this. That what did it say? Uh, was it trophy husband or something like that?
But yeah, I was gonna get you the said trophy
But
husband.
they were all sold out, and so um,
Maybe that's the trope. Like that's the shtick, is like these exist, but the gimmick is that there never is one. It's like always sold out because there's only
yeah.
one
I know
first
there was
place
like three or
husband
four.
somewhere.
They just probably fit what people would think would fit a trophy husband. So the man flu thing, it might be true. I don't know. I know when I get sick, I tend to get really sick, but I also think as a runner and health nut, Taylor just is healthier than me in general.
I was gonna say I feel like it's not like I have a hard time judging because you just do tend to get sick more than I do, and
It's
Mhm.
so
probably
I don't know,
since people
but
go around washing their hands or something like that. It's probably the big problem. Um,
I think too, like part of it is like if we're speaking in like semi-traditional roles, if you're talking like okay, like a dad who leaves the house, goes to work every day, and you have like a mom who stays home with the kids. Okay, well, like dad is sick and can't go to work, so like he gets to stay home. But if a mom is sick and she's home with her kids all day, well, those kids still do need to be taken care of. Like you don't get to
Yeah.
take the day off just because you're sick. And I will say, like Steve is a very even parent with me. So if one of us is sick on the weekend, the other may try to pick up the slack, but it's not like we're taking like the full day off. Like we're still parenting,
That's
regardless of if
that's
we're sick or not.
that's antithetical to the rag on Steve theme we
I
yeah,
have
know.
going on.
I know, but I can't let people think that he's like an uninvolved dad who just like lays on the couch and eats chips.
yeah,
Fair. From what I've seen, you are a very involved parent,
and I'm not
Steve.
that into chips.
I
Is
was gonna
really
say
the
it'd be
thing.
food stamps and chips, but
Gummy worms. Uh, I think it could also be too, and I'm going to just go out there and say, that at least for me, it makes sense. Like, it's the idea of the daddy's girl, mama's boy type thing as children. Like boys tend to go with mom a little more, girls tend to go with dad a little bit more for at least
Agree.
comfort when injured, that sort of thing. And so there might be some shaping there as well, as if dad's not there when I'm homesick for the little girls, but for the little boys, they're cuddling up to mom, feeling the extra level of comfort. Now, obviously, you have to be careful how we're drawing these lines, that your husbands aren't just children on top of that for their wives. But there
Right.
is probably a little bit of that, like, oh, come take care of me, kind of like mom did, comparatively, maybe.
maybe. I mean, that would
Yeah.
make sense from like a through the lifespan
I think like
speaking
the
a little bit.
pairing of those sources of comfort behavior analytically, really.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and like cultural selection too. Like even like not even like individual learning, but just like societal learning.
Yeah.
There are some like gender norms and roles, gender roles and things like that that would be part of that. But no, I tend to get I when I'm sick, and I don't get sick very often actually. I might be like hit or miss, like not feel great, but I'm sick. If I run a temperature, I'm like I just want to go to bed and I want to sleep for 3 days and then wake up and just move around again. But no, my wife is not that way to a fault. I think like I'm telling her to go to bed and she's like, nope, like you're not gonna be able to do the things that I normally do, so I'm gonna keep working and I don't know. I don't know if it's a Greek thing or what, but strong-headed that woman.
I have to say that I have limited exposure, except to spending a little bit of time in Greek culture in Greek town, which is not really to say much at all. Um, and seeing like the movies that are cliche, like the big fat Greek
Yeah,
wedding, that sort of thing. But there does seem to be a cultural difference. And what I'm really thinking about is growing up, we loved going to this restaurant that's been gone for many years because they tore it down to build a casino parking lot in Detroit, but it was called New
perfect.
Hellas. And like New Hellas is
Yeah,
over 100 years old. So I think if there was an old Hellas, it was even older, probably in the old country. But you go in there and it was family run, and there's mom or grandma in the kitchen just yelling at everybody the whole time,
and
cracking the
everybody.
whip,
Yeah,
keeping it. And like,
yep.
I can see it being a little bit different from that cultural perspective. But again, you have a lot more experience than I do, so I don't know if that is a true thing or just a my experience thing.
I've seen a lot of that. I mean, like, we have older relatives, some Theas, and, her grandmother passed away a few years ago, but yeah, very much like this is how it's going. She had 2 kitchens in her house, her yaya, so she had 1 kitchen for one meal of the day and another kitchen for another meal of the day while that one was being sanitized with a lot of Windex.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
but no, yeah, there's definitely that.
if you've seen the movie, Windex was definitely a thing, I'm pretty sure, in the movie as
Yeah,
well. So,
yeah, it is, it is.
um, I don't know. The food just sounds delicious. Really, is what I'm getting back to here.
The main theme of this episode.
Kind of not to take it into like a like a less fun note, but I wonder how much of it too with like, because obviously it's not that women aren't getting sick, like we get sick, but like almost this mentality of like kind of like you said, like with Lydia, like if I don't do it, who's going to do these things?
Mhm.
And that carries over like at home, but also kind of at work too. And yeah, you know, as somebody who's worked in like professional capacities, there is sometimes this like I really do have to prove myself and like prove the value that I bring to the table. And especially now, like as a parent, if I know that like, okay, well, not only now do I have to manage like my own sick days, but like my kids' sick days. And like if
Yeah.
my kids are sick, obviously, you know, obviously we're lucky enough that like we can take turns on who's taking time off with the kids. But a lot of moms in a lot of professional settings, like it does fall on them to be the ones to take the time off. And so like, well, I can't not work when I'm sick because I have to kind of bank up and save this time for when my kids are sick. And I wonder how much of that plays into that, just like this internalized, like I just don't get to be sick in that capacity where like I'm fully taking time off unless I'm like dying.
She and I were just talking about this the other day. She had to call her dentist because there was something wrong on her bill that we had to figure out. And she's just so nervous to call and like make the phone call. And I'm not making fun of her, but she was just like, "Oh, I just don't want to call." And I was like, "Oh, it's a phone call. Like, I don't know, just make a phone call." And she's like, "Well, this speaks to your privilege a little bit because I feel like you as a man can walk into a meeting and just kind of like have a different it's a completely different experience than me. Like I'm automatically like on defense. Like when I say something's wrong, she's like, I just have had this history of like having to prove what I'm claiming. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. If I say something's wrong, a lot of times as a white male, people are like, oh, let me look into that for you, and they don't really like question me a lot. That was kind of an awakening. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense.
Yeah,
Why
Right.
I
Yeah,
would
I
not experience that
definitely.
apprehensiveness.
it's it's hard too because I know there's a lot of times where Taylor's completely capable for handling just about any situation, but I get a lot of those aggression reinforcers from being the one standing up to things too. You know what I mean? So I'm like just itching. I'm
Yeah.
like, just tell me, just set me loose. Let me use this toxic masculinity in a good way here and something like. But I'm also the type that if I walk into a meeting, I'm going to probably just act like I'm running the meeting, even if it's not my meeting. It's just who I am as a person as well. Whereas there's a difference, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's I almost have to ask permission to step in at times because I want to just be have an opportunity to be mean to somebody really.
Taylor, were you gonna say that's a common thing for you too?
Yeah. I mean, not I guess it like depends on like the context and like the space. So like if it was like one of my doctors, I probably wouldn't have the issue, but like like if there's something wrong with one of our cars, I'll have Steve deal with it just because there have been times in the past where I have made that complaint and was very blatantly dismissed.
Yeah.
And just kind of
And
treated like a moron for even bringing it up.
and
Right.
I
And
may or may not have pulled my Cadillac in front of the bay door so they couldn't service any other cars until they dealt with the issue.
I also had a
Doesn't sound like you.
gentleman at a hardware store. I went in to buy blinds because our blinds broke. And I had the measurements that Steve and I had done the night before because it was kind of a two-person job. It was like a pretty big area we were measuring, and this man refused to sell me the blinds and told me I needed to go back home and measure 3 more times to make sure that my measurements were correct.
No.
So that was not great. I did end up going somewhere else and just buying the blinds, and they were the right size. They fit.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first times I think I'd ever come across like somebody presuming that I was so incompetent as a woman that I couldn't do like a really basic task, like measure something with a tape measure.
And I'd say
Interesting.
Uh,
the gentleman was like the cliche retiree working at Home Depot because I like being around building things, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully the younger crowd isn't doing that the same way, but you never know.
Right, right.
I was mad,
uh,
and I
I
think that
was
was
mad
one of the
too.
first times that, like, I had really been like, "Oh my god," like, sexism certainly is alive and well because I was just presumed incompetent to use a tape measure and, like, measure what I like, I don't know. That it was
I'm I'm very bad with a tape measure. This is neither here nor there, but, like, I'm the reason they say, like, "Measure twice, cut once," because I get so in a hurry, and then I'll catch myself, like, measuring, reading the measurement, closing it up, and being like, "Wait, that wasn't even the right I just said the wrong measurement out loud, and I was about to make that cut." I'm very yeah, I don't like looking at little lines. It's the thing about me.
Uh, Talking about back to the man flu thing a little bit. It's too bad Cora wasn't here because as a redhead, I was gonna call her out. But supposedly, gingers feel less pain than the rest of us. Maybe that is a thing I've read. I've heard there's a topic about it.
Really?
So I wanted to hear her take on this and rag her a little bit for being a ginger. But we'll do that another time.
I feel like
Fascinating, I've never heard that.
the man flu, like, kind of lends into, or at least the way we talked about it, like, leads into this idea of, like, man chores versus women chores,
Mhm.
and, like, all the things that, like, a mom can't get sick because who's gonna do the mom chores? Who's gonna do the laundry?
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
we'll say try to split up things pretty well. Taylor does the laundry, but that's mostly because she doesn't trust me to do the laundry, and to an extent, anyways. We now have separate laundry baskets for different things because I didn't know that the Lululemons didn't go in the dryer and that sort of thing. And so there are certain things that I wasn't supposed to touch, and it was just easier for her to take over that one comparatively. But
I wouldn't
um,
have done that.
I am not good with the drying versus air dry, but I at least knew not to put like my red sweatshirt in with like a white pair of pants or something like that, you know?
Because you're wearing a lot of white pants.
I'm not talking about my white pants. Just
I'm
talking
not
about
wearing a lot of white pants either.
all right, whatever pants. You get the
This really
idea
speaks to
here.
how well you do the laundry, Steve.
That I do not do. I'm wearing a red sweatshirt. That at least I would got that part right. I was gonna say socks, but like who's looking at my socks? Who cares if my socks are pink? I don't care.
And I will say, like, okay, so I do the laundry, but, like, you also make sure that the cars are charged, and I don't know, if there's, like, something outside that needs to be done, generally, you're the one who does that.
Yeah, and the garbage and also,
Well, that's because the garbage has to go out when it's dark outside.
yeah. She
Yeah,
says she's gonna be abducted if she ever has to go out in the dark.
I do the garbage too. I will come home usually to a bag or two of garbage just sitting at the back door on the ground, and I'll joke like, "Oh, like, can I walk ten more feet to go outside and just put them in those?" And it's like, "Nope, that's your job."
So I will put it in the Herbie Kirby, but I don't take the Herbie down to the road.
You are gonna have to explain what that is. A
Okay, so
Herbie
this is
Kirby?
like a very I recently learned that this is like a very niche, like, Kalamazoo where I grew up thing. Which
I love this
like,
already.
Steve, what do you call it?
Trash can, the garbage can.
Like the outside, like the
Yeah.
big outside trash
Yeah,
can.
it's just the garbage can.
That's
You
what
call it
Herbie
a
Kirby.
Herbie Kirby?
So I think Herbie Kirby's like an actual brand, isn't it?
I don't know.
I
Let
think
me look it up.
Herbie Kirby was like a brand of like giant trash tote in the west side of Michigan. And so
Okay.
I got over that. I thought it was just like some cute name her family had given to this thing, but nope, it's like what they call it because it was what they were called over there. And nobody
Wow.
in Metro Detroit knows what the hell she's talking about ever when she says it.
So I do
I
believe it is like a niche Kalamazoo, Southwest Michigan thing.
wow,
Because yeah,
okay.
absolutely, like, that was what it's called. Like, my cousin calls it that, who also grew up in I'm sure, like, all my cousins call it that. My mom calls it that, my sister calls it that. It wasn't until I said it to Steve once, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And now
I
apparently, Kyle, you also did not know what I was talking about.
I kind of like lost everything else in your sentence because I was like, "What is a Herbie Kirby?"
It
It
looks
sounds
like
amazing.
it was also a brand of large wheeled waste and recycling containers in Windsor, Ontario, which is funny because we're right over the bridge over here, yet
Yeah,
Metro Detroit does not call them that as far as I've ever heard. So,
weird, weird.
yes.
I mean, that's not to the point of this episode, but it is weird how names evolve like that. Um, do you? What was it? I had just had a good one. Man, I lost it. I had one that we do here in cheese toasty or grilled cheese. What do you say?
Grilled
Grilled cheese.
cheese.
See cheese toasty down here.
I like that. That sounds cute.
Aw, you
How
never heard
about
that before?
no?
I
Oh
feel
I
like
wow,
wish I had never had heard it.
put your cheese
I
toasty in
could
the
have
Herbie Kirby.
probably.
I just had to throw my cheese toasty to Herbie Kirby. That shit was gross.
Throw my Coke in it and put on my sneakers and
That's another one. Taylor says sneakers a lot. I was like, yeah, where are we sneaking off to now? Or
Well,
sneakers,
tennis
okay, so
shoes. I'm like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
not playing tennis.
what do you call them?
My shoes.
shoes.
Yeah.
Well, no,
My Air
okay, so like
Force Ones, which
growing up, it was tennis shoes, but now I like sneakers if I'm talking about like a sneaker would be more of like a I'm not working out in these. I'm not wearing them when I go for like walks per se, but like these are nice, comfortable like day-to-day shoes I'm wearing, but they have laces in them.
yeah, so
If
when
that
she
makes
tells
sense.
me when she wants me to serve her and put her shoes on her, she has to specify which one. So that's why there's the sneakers versus the running shoes versus the walking shoes versus
I
See,
do
I
like shoes.
would
I'm a shoes
I
girl.
would think I would think that sneakers would be more of the athletic connotation. So
So
like
they're not
sneakers for
not
running
athletic
or
shoes. So
yeah,
I'm
okay.
talking about like my
like the Air Force Ones, I'm not wearing to actually play basketball, and I'm walking around in them
right,
versus
those would be
like
like your
a mid or
sneakers.
the high top if you were actually playing basketball, sort of thing.
So
But
I have like a pair of I have Brooks that I run in, and so those are like my running
Right.
shoes. And then I have a
Okay.
pair of Hokas that I like to walk in if I'm going for a walk. So those, but I would just probably
I,
refer to those by like brand name.
I wear the
But if
same
I'm saying
shoes
like
all the
my
time.
sneakers, that
Me
would
too.
be like I have a pair of Adidas Stan Smiths that I like that I wear.
Stan Smith. Okay.
It's just like a white
Man.
leather sneaker. But like
Okay.
I'm not playing in the backyard in them. I'm not like going for walks or runs in them. This is like I'm
I just keep 3 pairs of Air Force Ones. There's the nice clean ones, there's the dirty-ish ones that I wear just like for every day, and then there's the all right, I've stepped down the heel. These are basically slip-ons now for me to do yard work in. And that is my different style of shoe.
You are the bane of my
I'm
mom's existence in, like, your step down tennis shoes because you're out there, like, building a gazebo in those ratty step down tennis shoes.
Yeah, I didn't even like wearing sandals or flip-flops just because as a kid I stubbed my toe too many times. But Taylor made me get a pair of Birkenstocks, and like the fact now that my feet are basically air conditioned in the summer, I can't get away. So I'm out there building a giant gazebo, lifting up like 200-pound sections of roof in
oh
sandals with my
yeah.
toes exposed, and her mom's just like panicking inside the
I
door.
mow in sandals. I always mow
Kyle,
in
you're gonna cut
sandals.
your toe off.
You know,
You probably, like, ride your
so
bike in sandals too, don't you?
no, yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes, yeah, I do.
yeah. I
Yes.
I have to
Yeah,
say
I don't
though,
know.
I have heard recently someone referring to Air Force Ones as being the new dad shoe. They are the new monarchs, and I am just flabbergasted and appalled by this because
See,
You are a
they were
dad.
the cool they were the cool shoes for many, many years. And so how are you gonna just all of a sudden change it for like multiple generations of cool people, not just
Have
one
you
your
seen what
dad's
the kids are
age?
wearing these days?
yeah,
Yes, and
well,
this
for
again,
one, you're
yeah,
not cool anymore. The
I
kids
was
are
never
cool.
really cool. I didn't know what cool was really, but
I don't know if I could tell you what an Air Force One looked like, to be honest.
how
I
dare you,
can't.
sir?
I
I
don't know.
am
I can't think of
very familiar because Steve gets a new pair for, like, every birthday.
it.
Also, we can't rate what the kids are wearing because I am jealous of what the kids are wearing right now. Because back middle school, early high school, we had the Jinkos. And now if I try to wear
We
those
did have
pants
those.
again, I would be old poser instead of being cool. And I'm like, this is sad because I never wanted to stop wearing these. Society told me I was weird if I kept wearing them, and now I
Did you
can't start wearing them
wear
again. This is
did you wear
BS.
the real big
Oh,
Jenkos?
I had some that were 60-inch each leg.
60-inch? Yeah,
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 they would have been 5 feet tall if you cut the leg up the side and spread out each leg. I
yeah.
walking home from
And you would
seventh
wear
grade.
those now? Today, you'd wear
No, not
those?
that big, but I still liked baggy pants. I walking home from school 7th grade, and I was able to take my yearbook and put it in my pocket and walk home.
Mm.
It was a great thing.
This might be a question having to do with societal gender specific things. Do you try and keep up with current fashion, or do you kind of have your own, like, this is just what I wear? I'm very much like, this is just what I wear. I don't
So
think,
I went a long time ago and decided that I was never gonna be able to keep up with it. So I tried just to become a jeans and t-shirt type guy, like
yeah.
suits and stuff. I can make like dress clothes look good just because I know how to like match patterns and stuff. And it's kind of like the same general what you're wearing. You're just changing different patterns and colors and stuff together. But when we first started dating, I had the cargo shorts because it was perfect. I could carry most of the beer I needed with me at all times.
And
And
a hammer or two.
right. And then Taylor's like, "Nah, those aren't cool anymore. You can't wear those anymore." I'm like, well, "Where am I going to hold my beer?" But so she had me go out and get all these new shorts, like khaki shorts without cargo pockets. And now they're back to wearing with cargo pockets. I mean, I'm not switching back now. It's too late. I've been lost and it's over now.
I appreciate your commitment to them, but also you couldn't think of one other way to carry your beer?
I mean,
Well,
this
he
was
also
like
says that, like, he was carrying beer around, like, often at that point.
there were multiple times where I was like, we're getting on a boat or going out to do something. Wanted to carry beer with me, but I wasn't trying to carry a cooler or a case. And I just
Yeah,
stuffed all my pockets full and I was good to go. Um, Now I'm not drinking the canned beer like that anymore. Like I don't drink enough. So it's always, I'm going to have a nicer bottle of beer if I'm going to do it now. And I'm not shaking it up in my pocket. But at the time, that was my argument is why I needed to keep those shorts. But
gotcha.
on the other hand, when she told me that joggers were a thing now and I can wear sweatpants all day long,
Mhm.
that changed my life. Now, like I wear jeans once in a great while, and even that seems like a chore.
And you used to be, like, a jeans guy. You'd, like,
Always,
wake up on a Sunday morning and pull on your jeans right away, which
absolutely.
feels like a crime.
I I cannot understand wearing pajamas and then just getting dressed when you're going to do stuff. Like I want to be ready to run out the house in a
What are you
moment's
talking about?
notice.
I like to wear my pajamas, and then I often put on, like, my lounge clothes, and then when we're getting ready to leave, I'll put on my other clothes, but that's also because we have dogs and kids.
Absolutely not. I'm wearing one pair of clothes. I choose them in the morning, and I'm not gonna go upstairs to change. It's way too much work.
I know, that's why you leave, like, your socks on the stairs just in case you need to wear
I
them again.
I will remember them one day and take them upstairs. Now, what's
There's
really
been a
upsetting
pair of
is when I
socks sitting outside of our bedroom door for, like, 4 days.
now that was the 2-year-old's fault. He took them off me as I was sitting there and ran away with them, and so but it was upsetting when I'd leave my socks on the stairs to take up, and then I forget them, and but thinking then I say, "Oh, I can just grab them off the stairs and throw them on and go out the door," and nope, they were put away. How rude.
I, as an impartial third party, what I'm hearing you say is Taylor, you seem like you keep up with, the trends.
Okay, kind of to an extent. Like, I don't really wear skinny jeans anymore, in part because they're just not as comfortable anymore. Um, so I feel like I'm always, like, late to the trend. Like, it'll be around for, like, a couple
Mhm.
years, and then I'll get around to it, and maybe that's in part because I have a hard time shopping for myself, and I've, like, been trying to buy more sustainably and, like,
Oh,
not succumb to fast fashion
She
as
sure.
much.
she also doesn't like clutter, and so if the closet gets too cluttered, that gets annoying, but you don't wanna have to replace all your stuff all the time. But
Yeah,
it is a problem where she has things she likes, the fashion things, she's up on them, she wants them, and then they stay in the cart for months at a time, just waiting for her to push the button to actually
until
buy
they're
them,
sold out.
and then there are times where her sister has to call or text me and say, "Tell her to go order them this dress this summer dress. It's like summer's almost over and she's had it in the cart since the late winter. Tell her to push the button. And so it is not that she's not up on the fashion or does not like the fashion as much as
I
it
have a
is
hard time buying for myself.
yeah.
And I have a hard time buying pieces. I've been trying to be more conscientious, like I said, like not buying like uber trendy things that are like obviously going to be out of style very quickly, with the exception being my Labubu, who lives on my desk. But there are certain
Right.
items where I'm like, obviously this is not going to be cool like next month, next year. So like I probably would skip those. I haven't bought a pair of barrel jeans yet because I'm not
Is
convinced
that
that
what they're
those.
calling those now?
What are you talking? No, barrel jeans are a very specific kind of jean. You do not know about them.
Are they made for
Um,
going over Niagara Falls in?
no, no.
I don't know what a
Um,
barrel jean is.
well,
I'm gonna look it
the
up.
girls will know.
I had
It's
these.
just like a specific cut of jean. Now, like, do I wear looser jeans? Yes, I have jeans that
Mm.
I would have definitely dubbed like boy jeans when I was a little girl. Like growing up, there was a specific pair of jeans I had when I was little that my parents would basically threaten me out of bed with. Like, if you don't get out of bed right now, you're going to have to wear the boy jeans to school today. And it
So
worked. I did not want to wear them, so that did work.
No.
at least back in my day, when we were wearing the Jinkos, the girls would wear them sometimes too, but they usually had the ones that were like tight down to the knee and then flared out more. And so that way you had like the sexier, tighter jeans with the big leg all in one, all mixed together.
No, these are just loose jeans, which are very comfortable. I do like them.
Yeah.
Sure, you probably hate them, Steve.
No.
But I also feel like because they work from home, and again, like I have little kids, so I'm not really like getting dressed in my most trendy wears to go to the
Yeah.
library or to go to the
Yeah.
playground. I wear a lot of just like athletic clothes because it's comfortable and
Mm.
usually a little bit easier to wash.
To be completely fair, like when I'm gonna go buy, if it's like I need a new car or I'm gonna go make a big purchase, I prefer to dress down, and then whoever decides that they want to give the sale to the person that's dressed in a hoodie and jeans and dirty shoes, that's the person I want to get my money. So I will
Sounds like a
purposely do that
social
sometimes.
experiment, huh?
Like it is funny. Like if I'm had to go to a meeting, I'm wearing a suit, and then I stop by a store on the way home, a nicer store.
Well, hello,
Then
sir.
yeah, they're following me around trying to sell me stuff. And then when I walk in on the weekend with like a ratty old pair of jeans and a hoodie that's not washed, but it's seen some better days, they're following me around
Yeah.
for a completely different reason.
That
And it
makes
will be
sense.
just from one day to the next. Like they think I'm going to steal something, or is it that they want to sell me something? It's a fun experiment every time I go out. I think just being out in public with me is probably a fun experiment for most people.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm probably desensitized at this point because
When the first like 6 months of dating, I got a whole lot of "Why are you like this?" Just shaking her head, "Why are you like this?" over and over again. And then and usually laughing as she said it. So at least there was entertainment value there.
I think it was just a lot of off the cuff statements, a lot of
Probably.
unexpected off the cuff commentary.
I
Yeah.
I can do no wrong in my own eyes is really what the thing is. Like she'll give me trouble like when I open a new package, you tear off the top
Mhm.
and I leave the corner attached, so I don't just leave that piece of plastic or
Like the
paper.
little
Just
dangly tail that
I don't
allow
want to just
every
leave that on the counter
Oh,
and
yeah.
then create
thread
a
in the
mess.
trash.
It's because I never think to put it in the trash, and so I'm
The
doing
Herbie
you a
Kirby.
favor by leaving it on the package, so it's not just sitting there on the table.
Yeah, throw it in the Herbie Kirby.
No, the Herbie Kirby is outside. You don't I mean, if you
Oh,
wanted to
yeah,
go all the way out there to throw it outside, you
yeah.
can.
Gotcha. My bad.
That's for, like, the trash bags. Trash bags
Yes,
full
gotcha.
trash bags and diapers go in the Herbie Kirby.
Uh,
At least I'm not leaving 1 tablespoon of milk in the fridge most of the time anymore.
Correct. You are not
I
doing
do
that.
that. I do that.
That's the
I don't like to
worst.
waste. I don't like to waste, but, like, to what end? It's a good question. Like
Yeah,
I will I would rather, like, overfill a bowl of cereal and milk to avoid leaving, like, an annoying amount of cereal or milk in the container.
Oh, like when it's in the
Yeah.
last runs.
I
Yeah,
I
that makes sense.
I do feel that like when you go in there, I'm like, there's a stress of, all right, is this too much or not enough? What am I supposed to leave? I'll go ask permission. I'm like, all right, can I put this back in the fridge now, or is this safe, or is this not safe? But because I'm so careful about it after that feedback so many times, I absolutely love when she'll put something back in like that because I can hold it over her head for days.
No, I usually will only do that if I know it's something you won't eat.
Well,
Like, if it's
thanks.
just mine, then, like, I don't care. If I
It's like
know
a
it's enough
double standard, I feel like.
well, if I know it's enough for me, then I'll put it
Non-judging, though.
he's not gonna eat it. But who knows what Steve will eat or not eat. He's very picky.
I don't I don't know from one day to the next. It's not that I'm picky about things I won't eat. It's that something I've eaten in the last 3 weeks probably isn't gonna sound good to me for quite a while again, as, uh, something that never sounds good to me may just suddenly sound good, and so, I'll go years without eating, like, plain cottage cheese, and then all of a sudden one day I'm like, "You know what sounds great? It's just straight up plain cottage
Entire
cheese."
container of plain cottage cheese.
Not even in the lasagna, huh?
Nope, no.
Just
Sometimes though, I'll take,
straight.
like, the pretzel crisps, the real flat, crunchy ones, and use that as a scoop. That's pretty good too.
You're a madman.
But it's gotta be the large curd. Don't even come at me with small curd.
See, that was the problem is for a while I was buying small curd because it kinda reminded me of ricotta.
I didn't know
That's
there was a
gross.
difference. I don't know.
It is very
The
well
large
could be
curd is going to be like a looser consistency where your small curd is
a
going to
little
Um,
be
more wet,
it
a little
would be more wet.
sloppier. Uh,
I don't love this description of cottage cheese, but
I don't know why it tastes different to me, but for some reason, a large curd has like a little creamier flavor. But
Mm,
also, so have you ever had like cream cheese, but the whipped cream cheese?
yes.
To me, there's a different flavor to that, almost like the I think it's probably CO2 they're using to whip it. It's almost like I can taste that, almost like tasting a sparkling water versus a regular water. If it's not flavored, you can almost
Oh,
taste
yeah.
the carbonation. And I feel like there's a little
Gotcha.
bit of that, even though it's not carbonated at all, it's not whipped. That's the same flavor difference to me between large curd and small curd.
Okay.
And this is
Uh,
how it is dealing with me and my pickiness of what I will and will not eat. Is that slight difference that no one else can taste is enough to me. Like, I'm just not eating that small curd. Just not doing it.
It's
you
like you
you
and the app
flip it upside down.
I just chuck it at the wall. Like, I've had enough of this.
no, you just leave it in there. Like, you know you're not going to eat that, you know it's something that I don't eat, and then you just leave it in there for, like, 4 weeks. And
I
then it's
do
scary cottage cheese.
I do go through quite often and throw out the old food though, but it does
Or
sometimes go
leave
to
it in the
waste.
fridge and not be able to find it, and we've gone full circle now.
Yes, there we go. Well, I think the reason I've gotten so much better at throwing out the old food is we have one of those like automated composters that sits inside and like it churns up and composts the food. And so I find it somewhat entertaining to put things in there and watch it disappear.
Yeah,
And then we have the garden going. And so I'm like, got buckets now of this compost soil to use too.
yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
well, I think we had more things in the list, but we've probably taken up enough of people's times. I don't know
We
if
can
we
do a
should
part
keep going.
2.
We
We
should
could
probably do
do
part 2 and try to get Cora on just because I feel like that would add a whole nother level of aggression in her and Taylor's ability.
absolutely.
Like they would gang up on us so hard just for anyone listening, like the extent to which our admin meetings get almost violent in
Cora
the
would add
attacks.
fuel to my fire. Like, I feel like I get feistier when I am with Cora.
Yes.
I am more likely to not pick a fight, but Steve gets picked on kind of often because Cora and I talk on the phone kind of a lot,
Yes.
and
Ah,
she often is around and is
I don't
the
get to do that. I wanna do that.
do you? Be careful what you ask for, Kyle, because
They could just put you on their FaceTime and
no,
then you
we
guys
can call you.
all three of you can
No,
just walk through the room and rag on me for something, then walk out of the room like nothing.
I'm kidding. No.
We're gonna
If you
call
want
you.
me to join, I'll join.
I mean, sometimes we're just eating lunch. So next time we do that at lunchtime, you better answer.
Fair.
All right, yeah. So we could do it again. We have other things on here, like it's a little less fun, but we can still have fun with it. Like the whole men are more analytical, which I think is pretty much BS, especially because Taylor was Miss Math and Science Center, and I was Mr. I'm only going to school because that's where the girls are.
You did auto shop.
It's not the same level of analytical that I
I'm
was.
just saying.
Yes.
It wasn't just girls.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna guess.
something.
I'm gonna guess
Oh.
there were girls in the auto class.
I was too anxious not to graduate and like have something going on moving forward. So going to work on cars half days was just a way to get out of having to be in class. So there's that as well.
We can talk about men and women's cigarettes.
Oh yeah, the
Oh.
Virginia
Oh, that's
Slims
a good
versus the yep.
Marlboro Reds.
Who's a better driver? I know there's that cliche that women are not as good at
Man.
drivers, but I don't
In
know.
our family, Steve is the better driver.
But that might just be because I like
No.
cars that much more than you.
I think you are a more confident driver. If you ask our kids, I don't think you could ask them who is the better driver, but if you're like, hey, who is the crazier driver? Daddy, always.
Yeah.
Like mom is sometimes still the preferred driver, which is weird.
There's a
but
difference between safety and technical skill, okay?
I don't have either one.
I may be much better at drifting around corners and getting out of the spin and keep going straight, but you stay in the lines a little better than I do. So
Yeah, but somehow I still have more speeding tickets than you.
that's because I'm always looking.
And actually, I only got the one. The other one, I cried, and he did not write the ticket.
There you go. Hey,
That would be
there's
a good
another
one to
double standard
analyze,
we
too.
can
Yeah,
talk.
there you
Yeah.
go.
There we
There you
go.
go.
Why can my wife cry her way out of a speeding ticket, but I cannot?
Beer versus wine discussion. There's a lot more we can do. So we'll
EW
Yeah.
bugs with eyelashes.
yeah, are those
Yeah.
boy cars versus girl cars? We'll do another one of these. We'll wait a while though, so people don't just get sick of us doing the same thing. We got to keep it fresh, you know.
I think we broke a lot of ground today, and
I think we've solved the battle of the sexes pretty much. Really, is what it is. There is no more strife between us. It's just don't let these things get you is the main thing. We all know that most of this is BS. Anybody can do anything. And so just go around and try to find the bright side in life. Try to find the things that make you happy. Try to enjoy yourself because you never know one day when you're almost 40 and the kids are starting to wear baggy pants again and you realize you can't because you'll be a square if you try. And you have to start questioning whether life is worth it at that point. And you never know what's going to happen. So let's not go down that path and just look to the bright side. Look at the happy things in life.
very, very uplifting ending there. Thanks, Steve.
Always.